if that's the case, give the job to Rude, bro. He can't do any worse than Ten Hag. Honestly, bro. How I kind of look at the situation right now, Terry. If you keep this guy, it's like keeping a rotten apple next to apples that are ripe, bro. And then it's just gonna ruin those apples, and that apple's gonna ruin the next apple. Ten Hag staying in the job until the summer is ruining your club, bro. It's rotten. Your club right now is rotten, and a big part of that is because of the manager. Obviously, there's bigger problems than him. Obviously, the Glazers and whatnot, the mess that they made. Ineos have come in, they've made mistakes. But at the end of the day, he's the manager that's leading the team. And for me, like I said, I don't think your squad's the best squad. I don't really rate your squad like that, but it's better than this. You know what I'm saying? I reckon that Ruud can probably do a better job than him. He might not be the best. You might not, finish in the top 6. You might not get top 4. But it won't be as toxic, in my opinion.
I don't think Postecoglou can get 9 points in the Europa League. If Postecoglou can get 9 points in the if Postecoglou can get 9 points in the Europa League when playing Fraser Forster and them guys on the pitch, they're sitting second, and we have no wins. I'm sorry, bro. I've seen a coach that could do something with Timo Werner, with Richarlison and them, and the manager that can't do nothing and is playing right backs in the 10. There's no more.
And it's not like Ruud hasn't got any managing experience either. You know what I'm saying? Like he's played in this competition
he's won a
as well.
domestic cup.
Yeah,
exactly. Since we're doing it over domestic cups, there we go. We have someone with domestic cup. Go get him.
You know what I mean? I would get rid of him ASAP. By Christmas, I would sack this man and just give it to Ruud till the end of the season.
Yeah, the thing with Russian,
what is Ruud's influence on the team, though? That's what I wonder. Because obviously he's part of the coaching staff, right? He was brought in. And I'm not blaming. Obviously, look, the manager the buck stops at the manager, but obviously was brought in, and we haven't seen any impact from a coaching standpoint, really, have we?
No, that's not true. First of all, he's much more vocal than Ten Hag on the sideline. Yesterday, when Ahmad had that, his face was so pissed, and when he was coming on the pitch,
his face was pissed. Oh, wait, that's it. He's earned his paycheck there. His face was pissed, and he was vocal.
Hold on. I didn't even get to finish yet. I'm just saying. He's much more vocal. I'm using an example.
It's a wind-up,
Yeah, he's a wind-up, and I watch him. He's always He's always speaking to referees. He's always speaking to the players when they're coming on the pitch. So at least in the technical area, I see him active and I see him vocal. Højlund, last game when he came out and he scored against Brentford, he actually shouted out Ruud van Nistelrooy, and he said that he's been working closely with Ruud van Nistelrooy and it's been benefiting him. So that's coming from, first of all, eye test of me saying, and that's the second one coming from the play. Now I understand we don't look that amazing, but we're not going to put it on Ruud because I don't think Ruud's influence yesterday was saying, you know what's a good idea? Right back in the 10. Come on. We all know.
I'm not putting it on Ruud.
The last word goes to Ten Hag anyways.
Yeah, I'm not putting it on Ruud either, right? And I'll tell you as to why I'm not going to put anything that's going wrong on Ruud. Because, again, I do this a lot for Arsenal. I've done it this week for Liverpool when it comes to, like, analysis, which has just never been done before, I heard people this week say, I don't like the starting lineup. But then they're talking about the red card. And I'm like, well, yeah, I get that. But nobody's ever said in the history of football, I don't like that starting lineup in case we get a red card. How are we going to cope? That's never been said, right? Equally, I've never heard anybody say, fucking hell, David Moyes ain't doing very well at West Ham. What's his coach doing? Potter's really struggling at Chelsea. What's his head coach? What's his first team coach doing? No one's ever said this. It's never been analysis.
I think the manager gets all of the heat, but we never really look at coaching teams. Bilic, I used to call out because he had as coaching one of his coaching staff, no background in football. He's an ice skating coach.
I understand. All right, I get that, right? But the point I'm making is, and maybe you've called out a few, but generally speaking, the only reason Ruud is getting attention is because of a media conspiracy that was created that he came in as a coach because they were looking to replace Ten Hag early in the season with him. That hasn't even happened. So that whole conspiracy has been blown apart. I think Ten Hag has Ruud has come in to be a coach. Is there the possibility that he becomes the interim manager? Yes. I think if our owners genuinely brought him in to be the new long-term manager, they'd have gone and sacked Ten Hag already. There would have been no reason to have waited through the last 2 international breaks. So I think I think that's why Ruud is getting a lot of attention. Ruud is doing his job as a coach. We've seen elements of what he's implemented, but Ruud ain't picking this team. Ruud isn't changing the system every 5 minutes. Ruud, in my personal opinion, definitely didn't suggest playing Maswari as a number 10 yesterday. No. I guarantee you, Ruud, because football players were like this, right? I guarantee you, Ruud, when he found out Rasmus, who probably had his best game for us ever against Brentford in terms of the hold-up play, approach play, link-up play, Andy's goal, I bet Rude went into a room and screamed into a pillow when he saw that he would drop for this game. Because as an ex-player of a high level, you want to get into a rhythm. And this idea of resting, you speak to all the players that play. They want to play 2 games a week. They prefer that to training. They feel it's better for their rhythm. So Rasmus is sitting there. He's got back from injury. Okay, he's starting to find a bit of form. Very next game, you're dropping him. For me, there's no way Rude is influencing that. Rude will remember what it's like to be a striker at a top club and knows what rhythm is all about. So, yeah, I'm not blaming him for anything that's wrong, really.
Because I know you want to move on a second. Even if I don't actually mind the rotation, I wanted Højlund to play because I do agree with you. He looked better. And the way that we played yesterday probably would have suited him a little bit more because we needed a little bit more pace in our limited chances when we went up front. So in hindsight, before the game, I didn't know that. But watching the game, I was like, you know what? He probably would have been a better fit. But let's just say he's just trying to get rotation in because he has 2 young strikers that he wants them to adapt both of them to the system and get them playing more minutes. So whenever he uses one on the weekend, on one midweek, they both can be ready. There is nothing to learn yesterday from Xerxes when he's not even playing with the real number 10. He's playing next to in front of a right back. So there's nothing he could look at that game and be like, you know what? That's going to help me if I play the West Ham game or the game after because the manager hasn't really done anything for us to learn from. And just quickly on Lawless's point, because these little things, I'm not going to lie, they really do piss me off. I know you're trying to wind me up, but you do really piss me off with these little things. Ruud has been in the job for about 3-4 months. We had Benny McCarthy and God knows who's else. I forgot who else we sacked. Then we got Rene Hecke and Ruud van Nistelrooy, and the football was still shit. And so the coach has changed, the manager's still there, and the football's still shit. Why would I blame the new people when it's clearly that the common denominator that is Ten Hag is the reason that we're shit? Because we changed the personnel around him. I'm just saying there's an expectation, and the football's still garbage.
I'm just saying you're putting an expectation that one of the coaches, Ruud van Nistelrooy, will take over and things will get better. And I remember when Emery was sacked, and I think Ljungberg took over. Yeah, and Ljungberg took over, and they were worse. They were terrible under Ljungberg.
Oh, Ryan Giggs, remember Giggs, Lampard as well.
In fairness, Giggs took over for 4 games, and we did all right. In fairness, who did take over? I think Michael Carrick did like 3 or 4 games. We were quite good actually under him. But yeah, look, I don't remember him being good. I think he won 2.
Central scored against you guys. That
all
was
I remember was him just changing up his image, wearing a suit and that. I don't remember him being
Giggs.
good.
Well, that's because it's traditional at United to do that. But it's I think we won 2, lost 1, drew 1, which was all right. Did all right. Like it's
no, with Carrick, I don't think we lost. I think we beat Villarreal or someone in the Champions League. Sancho scored, and then we played Chelsea. We drew 1-1. Sancho scored, and then we drew I think 1 more game, and then we hired what's his name?
I don't think Ruud is going to be our long-term manager, because if that was genuinely the plan, why would they have kept Ten Hag over these last couple of games? They would have just moved him. Well, yeah, I was right. My memory went back pretty good. Yeah, Giggs managed 4 games for us. That was all. We won 2 of them. We drew 1, and we lost 1. And Michael Carrick, I think you're right. I do think he was unbeaten.
It was
what year was that when Carrick managed? What year was that?
That was in 2021, and he managed 3 games. He won 2 of them, and he drew 1. I swear we beat. No, it was Chelsea. We drew with. Did we beat Arsenal with him?
No, we didn't beat Arsenal.
That's when Sancho scored that goal at the bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, when him and Rashford ran at the goalkeeper, and Rashford was offside, so he had to shoot it himself.
Yeah, I remember that.
When Jorginho made
it. Give it to Giggs to end the season.
Give it to Giggs to end the season.